Hi everyone, T-shirts yet again with another thoughts video. This might be the last one in a while since I haven't really been watching many new anime recently. And the ones I'm watching at the moment, I haven't not much else to say about them really. This thoughts video will be about another ongoing anime, well as of this video, called Juni Taisen Zodiac War. It's been about 5 episodes as of this video, so this video is really just more of a summary on like the characters, the story, you know, how it's presented, and overall just my view on whether people should check out or not, you know, for those who are curious and haven't really dipped their toe into the water, metaphorically speaking. As I said, I did a previous thoughts video on Black Clover. If you want to check that out before, you know, the series ends, just to get an idea of what that's about as well, by all means. So without further ado, I would make this video shorter than the last one because it did drag on a bit last time, and I'll talk a bit faster because I was a bit slow, you know, in terms of speech. So without further ado, let's just begin. So in general, Juni Taisen was a light novel back in 2015, and then started as an anime on the 3rd of October, which was about the same time Black Clover did, this year, 2017. It's sort of loosely based on the whole story about the race between the 12 animals of the Chinese zodiac. You know, the Chinese zodiac, like the, you know, when they say like this, the Chinese year of the dragon, or cat, or dog, or ram, you know, those animals from that Chinese zodiac signs. I'm not sure if that's sort of a spoiler if you're aware of the tale, because the way the series has gone on, it's been sort of in line with how that race ended up. As the message said earlier, there won't be any major spoilers. As I said, it's more of an introduction to what it's about. The story is not a race, more like a battle. It's a tournament. It's about a tournament that takes place every 12 years between 12 different combatants from the 12 different animals categories. The series itself takes place during the 12th tournament. Well, that's just wow, that's coincidental. In this tournament, as I said, the 12 combatants, they fight each other to the death, not just for their own survival, but also the winner of the tournament, so the one remaining winner, gets one wish granted, whatever wish that may be. So yeah, it's hosted by this weird guy with the sort of beard and insisting on people to clap their hands, but we'll talk about the characters in a second. In the meantime, well, not literally a second, in the meantime, let's talk about how it sort of begins. So they all meet up in this big building, they're given the rules, like how people should play, and each person is given a gem to swallow. He doesn't tell them what this gem does until eventually they all swallow it. And turns out they all contain some sort of poison. And if they don't complete the tournament in time and become the winner before, I think it's like 12 hours or something, or maybe it's 24 hours, it's one of those, they end up dying. So not only is it a battle royale, but it's also a race against time. The only way to get said antidote is, as I said, to win the tournament. What they also have to do is they have to make sure to get every single gem from the other 11 opponents. And they obtain these gems by ripping it from the bodies of their rivals, and it, yeah, a bit gruesome. From what I've seen, each episode seems to be focused on each competitor, like each person participating. For example, the first episode, or all I will say is the first episode is about the woman who represents the boar in the Chinese zodiac. This, I quite like the structure because it allows every sort of quote-unquote animal to have their chance to have their character developed, their backstories, so we get more attached to the people and sort of understand why they're in the tournament, why they're fighting, and their own sort of original goals. Sadly though, it seems like after 5 episodes, it seems like 1 or 2 characters at the moment have been given the shaft when it comes to development. For example, in the second episode, the episode focuses on the dog, and sadly he got the short straw, and we don't, even after an episode with much focus to him, we don't really know much about him, what he does, you know, like why he's in tournaments, his backstory, or who he's related to. You know, it's a bit of a shame really, because I would have thought the dog would have been one of the more popular contestants, and judging from how little dedication there was to slotting him into the narrative and, you know, getting to know him, and how little we know about him, even after the second episode, it just seems like, yeah, it's a bit of a letdown. But other than that, the characters we have seen up to about 5 or 6 episodes, they've given each character a fair amount of time so we get to know them. The question is, will it be the same for others? Will every character get that sort of narratival love, which is not a word and is one I just made up. I don't know why I said that. The characters then. What about the characters themselves? Well, every competitor has a unique ability. For example, the rooster can sort of communicate and cooperate with birds surrounding her. The rabbit is what's called a necromantist, someone who is able to sort of resurrect any person that he kills, you know, like raising the dead, but he can only raise the dead of the people and animals that he kills himself, and they become his allies. That's a little bit one-sided, don't you think? More will be revealed throughout the series, and we don't know about other characters' abilities, and it's still quite early stages as of this video anyway. I love saying that phrase, as of this video. What I do like is it sort of spices up the story, because it's set in a quite urban, sort of more modern location, like you know, present day Japan that's been deserted, and adding this sort of supernatural element really adds more of a fictional sort of supernatural element to it, emphasizing said fiction, and so it's not too realistic, which is you know, spices the overall formula. The host is some sort of well-dressed bloke, the host I mentioned earlier, who's in charge of the competition. He insists that everybody should clap their hands. He even says at the end of every episode, like in the preview section. It's quite a memorable quote, and chances are, if you've read anything about Juni Taisen, you probably see some person posting, "Clap their hands, everybody, clap their hands," and yeah, it's catchy, and it's quite entertaining, even though it's a short and stupid line. We haven't seen all of the characters so far, but there are a couple in particular we can talk about quickly. As I said, Boar is the star of the first episode. We find out about, like, who she is, why we should hate her, why she was never meant to be in the competition, and how psychopathic she can be, even towards family members and friends. The mascot to me, though, by far is the rabbit. He's like the Mickey Mouse of this show. If Mickey Mouse was a crazy lunatic with sort of psychotic and crazy violent tendencies, dressed in an unusual sort of Playboy-esque costume, which makes it funny. Not funny, but, you know, it's just makes someone who would just be a stereotypical nutter into someone with a more sort of light-hearted appearance. And, you know, it definitely is, it really yet again emphasizes this is just crazy, this is just one weird story and not meant to be taken completely seriously. It's just a form of escapism, seeing all these people beat the crap out of each other and the like. So yeah, as I said, this is about halfway through the tournament as of this video, so we don't really know much about the other animals, like the dragon or the snake or the horse or even the ox. Presentation wise, the introduction has sort of a steampunk vibe with the smoke and the dark colours and this sort of like rock music, sort of indie rock music. It's quite catchy. It's certainly one of the catchier songs I've heard in like that new anime I've been watching so far. And I think it's quite fitting, sort of like dark but not overly so. It's got sort of a punkish vibe to it. The animation is, I gotta say, quite good. I mean, it has sort of this, it has this interesting sort of layered outlining effect, sort of combining like the sort of sketched outlining with traditional modern anime designs of the characters and the environments. It looks pretty cool in fast motion. It makes it a bit blurrier, but it's also good in fast motion. But that blurriness can also become a detriment, as it can ruin the clarity of some of the characters shown. Some of you might not like this sort of blurriness and this sort of extra lining around the characters. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just watch the first episode and you'll get what I mean. It's good in like fast combat sequences, but when it comes to like still shots, it is much more visible and not the most appealing. But I will say at the very least it's interesting and unique, and it's a style that we don't see too often. Sort of a hybrid of modern anime drawings and sort of this sort of sketched out look. The voice acting is done pretty well. I'm glad they sort of didn't go too overboard with it, well, except for the host, who is clap your hands this and you will win that, and I don't know. Even the more annoying characters, like the rooster for example, who you'll watch and you'll get a little bit annoyed with, I think, isn't that obnoxious because of the voice acting. It's not too bad. I mean, one of the things I don't really focus on is the voice acting, but the voice acting is okay. Not too bad. The music's not very memorable, nothing really distinct. It's quite ominous at points, and it's slow quite a lot of the time, but nothing incredibly memorable other than the intro and the preview music are the only ones I can remember. The ending music's not bad too. Fast, sort of rock, electronic dance sort of vibe. Not much else really to say about the music other than it's alright, but it's not very prominent and I can't really remember much about it. The tone is quite exaggerated, you know, with the blood and gore, splatter effects, seeing people rip gems out of their stomachs. Some of it does go off screen or it's not there for very long. And even when it is there, as I said, it's exaggerated. So it's not realistic. It's just a cartoon, really. Even the first episode shows like fast, you know, quick combat, action fight sequences, and large-scale attacks. There's one scene in particular, I think it happens in the third episode, where, you know, if you watch the film Resident Evil Extinction, you'll know which scene I'm talking about. But it has to do with animals and, you know, just being swarmed, and it looks pretty cool in my opinion. At the end of the day, it's somewhat semi-dark, mature theme towards it. It's particularly in the moments where they talk about, you know, like, well, they don't talk about it, they show you like elements of like one character's child, the fact they were abused as a child, one character's childhood going through abuse. Of course, as I said, the violence and gore. But yeah, should you go and watch Juni Taisen Zodiac War? I'd give it a fair shot, yeah. I think its art style, its combination of exaggerated elements, such as the violence and the setting, and the backstories and the supernatural abilities they have, as well as setting it in the modern times, it doesn't really get to the point where I feel like I'm wasting my time. It's actually quite good, and I do recommend you give it a go. If I had to give it something out of 10, then I would be a reviewer, and I'm not a reviewer, this is just a thoughts video. So I hope this was much shorter and sweeter, or sourer, depending on how you like your food. So yeah, thanks for watching. Obligatory like, comment, subscribe sentence here. Yeah, hope you have pleasant days, and I'll see you whenever, okay? You probably won't know, and I probably won't see you because I don't know what you look like through this YouTube video. There's no camera or anything. So until next time, goodbye everybody!